fiddlesticks!
What, Wilbur?
We just got hit and I think my back has all been out of shape.
You gotta talk with those whippersnappers at the Advocates Law Firm. They're the best injury lawyers around.
What?
Pipe down, Clarence! Abner's telling me about the lawyers and the advocates. So what happened to you, Abner?
I was walking across the street with the light when some young punk came screeching around the corner. I lost a toe.
What?
Shut it, Clarence! If you get injured, the advocates get results.
AdvocatesLaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Hey, Ola, it's Miles. Thank you guys for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Have you heard our newest podcast? It's called The Greatest Story Never Told.
Download it today on radio.com. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded every Tuesday at noon.
The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Positive Friday. We will drink a toast with a shot of the day going into the weekend. Then it is the return of Bad Choice Friday.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday.
It's Bad Choice Friday.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday.
Hey, man, this is your fault.
Shame on. Today, could it be the Bee Gees?
Shaquille O'Neal providing backup vocals. Stay alive. Stay alive.
That takes on the one and only iconic Village People.
It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA.
Say what you want about those two choices. No one has ever sounded like either one of those two bands.
But I think there's a reason for that.
They are unique in their own there, yeah. Here's how you vote on Bad Choice Friday. Follow the Men's Room on Twitter and Men's Room Live. Get there and vote now. It's either going to be the Bee Gees or Village People coming up on Bad Choice Friday.
You're welcome.
Call it Bad Choice Friday for a reason. Our question today, what do you hope to never have to clean up again? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Jess. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hi. Hello. Hola.
Hola.
Hola. Hello. Ciao.
Hi.
Hello. Can I just say my dad would be so proud of me for calling in because he has listened to you guys probably since I was like 8 years old.
But the question is he going to be proud of what you have to say?
He's heard this story. So I worked retail for a long time. So I worked at the Buckle, and they carry some expensive stuff for no reason.
Excessive? Wait. What do you mean excessive stuff? What do you mean?
Expensive. So
Oh,
their
expensive.
jeans are like
Expensive.
$150.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. So don't buy it. It's stupid. Anyways, I once had this girl come in and try a pair of jeans on. She crapped her pants, left them in there, and just left the store. I didn't have to clean that up, but I still don't want to clean that up.
Now, did you know she had pooped herself before she tried the pants on?
No, I think she tried the pants on and then pooped herself.
Oh, she
And
pooped
then
herself
left
in
them
the
there
new
for
pants?
Oh.
She pooped in the new
I
pants?
thought that she was trying to figure out a way to get some new pants.
'Cause she pooped herself.
The ones that she
No.
had and took those and then just switched them out.
No.
Huh.
She just left a $150 pair of jeans with her poop in them.
I'm going to be dead honest with you. That is disgusting,
Yeah.
but I'm also very entertained by this because if I were a millionaire, right, or if I have like Elon Musk money where you can just buy yourself out of any, I would go to retail places and absolutely like poop in their clothes and leave them in the dressing room.
Okay.
I don't know why I find this funny.
I have to pose this question to you. Typically, I'm not sure that this is the case, but when you work retail and especially when you work in a clothing store, often those stores require you to wear the clothes that they have in at that point in time so that, that's kind of your work uniform. And you said it's an expensive place, so obviously just to go to work, you're going to have to spend a little bit of money to be able to be on the floor, correct? If this woman had the same exact size jeans that you did, and you knew that they probably were going to dispose of those jeans, would you have then bagged them up, taken them home, and tried to clean them?
Oh, hell no.
Okay.
You made the right decision.
One,
Just ask.
I don't wear those jeans anyways. Two, no. But that wasn't even my real story. That was just like, what the heck? So, one time, I'm like 5'3", so I'm not a tall girl. this one time I had this 6'4" Hispanic guy come into my store, and he's wearing like a gray T-shirt, and he tries walking into my back room, and we're like, whoa, 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 dude, what do you think you're doing here? And so he stops. This man is fun. He is like sweating through his shirt. He's tripping. He's saying that people are trying to come get him. He's like, you gotta hide me. So we end up having to put him, we're like, hey, just come sit down over here in this back dressing room because it's the bigger one. We're like, just sit down, calm down. We had to call 911 and we had to call the paramedics. So the paramedics come. This guy is just sweating through his clothes, it's just everywhere. They ended up having to cut off his shirt, and I think he started having a seizure, so they had to like do all this stuff. They load him up on a gurney, they take him out on a stretcher, and then they left all of the garbage in there from like all the stuff they had put on him. They had left his shirt in there. He like sweated all over this bench. You could see it on there, and I, of course, retail management, I had to clean that up.
No, wait, your management. The beauty of management, if you work management in any capacity, you should never have to deal with other people's stuff.
Are we going to say that is meth or a really good uncut Coke?
It was something terrible.
I'm going to say meth if he's paranoid.
Well, sweating would be PCP too, right, Ted?
I think there's a lot of drugs you get sweaty, but here's the thing. As I try to break this down, I'd say meth, because of my experience, meth heads tend to be more paranoid. Because a coke addict walk in and be like, hey, if someone's looking for me, let them know I'm back here. I'll beat their ass. It's like liquid courage, right? PCP, they wreck the place and beat the hell out of you for no reason. So I'm just thinking meth.
Okay.
Because they're worried about someone else coming to
We're
get
allowed to play profile this too. You know?
I like that.
We don't know the
I mean,
answer.
seriously.
If the cops come looking for me, you tell them I'm right here, right now.
That's a coke addict talking. Like, oh, hey, man, yeah, dial it back a bit. Because you ain't scared of nothing.
And it better be that bitch Linda.
Right, exactly.
What do you hope to never have to clean up again? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Kelly. Welcome to the men's room.
What's up, mate? Good evening.
Kelly, are you there?
We'll get back to Kelly. Let him finish his conversation. It's a busy man, busy man. Hello, Kyle. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Okay, so I used to own a biohazard cleanup business.
Jesus.
And this lady hired us to clean her hoarded house. And at some point, her toilet broke because she never cleaned it. And she started urinating in her tub, but she didn't have, her tub was clogged with her hair. So there was about 3 inches of congealed urine in the tub that I had to scrape out. Squeegee. And,
Is this why you used to own a biohazard company?
Yeah, that's why I sold it.
Honest to God, like that was the moment.
Let me ask you a question. Do you regret selling it now with, people having offices cleaned and all that stuff with the pandemic?
I have thought about that. The fact that people are probably paying an ungodly amount of money just to rub some bleach on stuff. But,
yeah. I mean, you're not going in and cleaning
But
up
that's
poop.
right now. Once this is
right
done, then it's back to 3 inches of urine that's congealed. How long did you own this company?
About 3 years.
Now, I imagine there's probably pretty good money in it, but what made you want to do this? Because you have to know that inevitably you're going to get the kind of call that you said kind of turned you off from wanting to own the business. Disgusting people that do disgusting things.
Right. So I worked in healthcare for a long time, so we would see patients come in covered in blood. And at one point, me and one of my friends were talking and said, well, what if we cleans this up afterwards? So we started looking into it. So we went into it for crime scene cleanup. It turned more into hoarding because your typical hoarding house, you're paying anywhere from $2,000 to $6,000 to clean a house.
What about, you said crime scene stuff. What was the worst you had to deal with then? Do you know the situation you're walking into, or are you just hired and then
you show up at an address?
Have to watch the news later on to kind of piece it all together?
Well, typically it's after. So if somebody usually it's suicide. So the police do their thing and they get done, and then the family they're left with the mess, and then they would call and say, hey, we had one where a kid shot himself in the head playing Russian roulette. And
Jesus.
And another one where a lady just died in the toilet. But they found her a ways later, so there was a bunch of maggots.
What do you do? Do you have like a high pressure hose shower thing at the office?
Yeah, what are the typical tools you bring in?
You can't just take those clothes and throw them into your regular washing machine.
Right.
So, what happens?
Well, those jobs were in Tyvek suits, so those get trashed, and then we had to have special biohazard bags that would get incinerated at a very high cost rate. So that was included in price of the job.
Sure.
Where do you take them to? Like someplace where they would do like cremations?
Well, the company that we hired would pick up the garbage and we'd box it, and then they would incinerate it somewhere.
And how much does that cost, by the way?
Well, we had them like on retainers with like a couple $100 depending on the weight, and they got more expensive. So regular garbage we would just throw away, but if it was biohazard, like a couple bags probably be $200 to $500 probably.
Are you doing things also like if there's blood or whatever in the carpet? Are you steam cleaning the garbage? Do you just rip the carpet up?
Well, if it's blood, we would cut it out. But for this lady who had the urine in her tub, she wanted us also to clean her carpet. But what people don't realize is that stuff seeps through the carpet and into the pad. And this woman had waist-high garbage of her food and half-drank Starbucks teas that she would just throw into the pile. So we told her we're not going to clean these carpets because we have to be able to leave it at a healthy state. And if she didn't want us to do that, then basically she had a sign saying, I'm not going to have this be clean, so that we know they can't come back and sue us.
So you weren't necessarily taking stuff out of her house as much as you were just working around what she had and trying to clean out that tub.
Well, actually, we took 4,000 pounds of garbage out of her house.
Jesus, wow.
And she owned a condo, but they were re-siding the building, so they had to have access to the inside. So she probably lived like this forever, and then she knew that they would find out and probably evict her.
So that's the reason. Okay, because I was curious, because you kept referencing the fact that the hoarder themselves called you to clean, which typically doesn't go hand in hand, but you're saying her motivation to call you was the fact that she is at least aware enough that if her landlord or whoever sees this, she's out, right?
Exactly.
Okay, but isn't there...
The neighbors below smelled it.
Right. Isn't there a difference between a hoarder and someone who's just throwing Starbucks cups onto a pile? Do you know what I'm saying?
That's just... But I think it's kind of the same, though, because you keep things, but I also think you get to the point where you've kept so much stuff that, people are walking through the labyrinth of newspapers. I don't know that hygiene or taking care of anything else is of any import.
Did she seem mentally stable?
She had a job at a well-respected hospital in Seattle.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Wait, what did she do? Tell me she wasn't like a surgeon or something.
In other words, if you met this woman outside of that environment, would you have any clue the conditions that she lived in?
No. I mean, she looked a little frumpy, but other than that, she had decent clothes when we saw her. She interacted with us very little. She didn't want to have any part of it.
Well, probably because she had a hard time with you taking stuff out of her house, first of all.
Yeah, but also it's humiliating.
But I'm with Miles. Like, I could be a messy person and, like, my mom has a ton of stuff around, but, like, she still takes out her trash and recycling every day.
She has things she doesn't want to get rid of.
But a lot of hoarders don't even take out their trash. I mean, at the point that they call... a pack rat is someone who doesn't want to part with stuff. The hoarders are also people that have tons of trash in their home. Like, nothing exits the house for whatever reason.
Yeah. Psychologically, I can't even compute. I mean, I understand it's a problem, and I know from what I've tried to watch of hoarders, which is probably the hardest show for me to watch on television.
Yeah.
It's just, they don't want to part with anything. And then they get mad when family tries to come in there and help them and clean stuff up.
Because they don't perceive it as help.
Exactly.
You're interrupting. I mean, this is how they... Look, I don't care how you choose to live, even if it is freakishly outlandish like the hoarding thing, but no matter what I tell you, that's not going to change your mind about what it is that's going on. Like, basically, I'm just disrupting your household, you disgusting, filthy, freaky son of a bitch. But 3 inches of pee in a bath. The problem I have with this woman is this, all right? So you say...
You're also in the medical profession.
But you say the show hoarders. One thing about the show hoarders, it's like intervention. Typically, someone from the outside is trying to give you help. This woman still had the wherewithal to recognize that she's a disgusting slob because they're going to enter her condo. She knows she's going to get kicked out. So you're aware that there's something wrong, and you still choose to pee in a tub. At least when you talk about hoarders, you go, okay, psychologically, there's this block where they just don't want to part, and you can have more sympathy for that. But this woman, from everything else he said, like most hoarders don't also go to work.
Can you imagine living below and going, what is dripping from our ceiling?
Like, what is
and
that?
what is that terrible smell?
Dude, I went to a house once. Somebody else, it was a very nice house. It had it was in a nice neighborhood and this and that. And the people were hoarders, but they were super organized. So you couldn't go in.
Organized hoarder.
So you couldn't go into any of the rooms because they were packed with S.
Right.
But the living room was fine and the kitchen was fine. But the rest of the house was full of crap.
So they just hid everything behind a closed door.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like organized hoarding.
It's like how kids clean up. Hey, clean your bedrooms. All this crap's on the floor. Then you're like, wow, you did a great job. Then you do the one thing that every parent should
Open
do.
the closet.
First, look under the bed. Like, okay, when I said clean, I didn't mean move your garbage and put it under the bed. And then, then it goes to the closet. Like, guys, I'm asking you to actually clean and throw the scrap out. Oh, okay, we didn't know. That's always
yes, you did.
You know goddamn well what I'm talking about.
What do you hope to never have to clean up again? 206-421-ROCK.
I always do. Oh, we didn't know. Yeah, you did. Hello, Cody. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
So I'm a first-time caller for you guys. Just want to say I love you guys' show. You guys crack me up. I listen to it every day coming home from work.
Oh, thank you, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Cody.
So my story goes back probably 7 or 8 years ago. I'm in the Army Reserve. I'm an 18-year veteran, and I was assigned to an Army boat unit. And so it's one day I'm on the boat and just finished up eating chow for the day, and so on the boat our septic system was full. Like, you have meters and stuff that tell you what levels they're at and everything. And so our engineers had checked it out and told the cooks and everything, don't run the garbage disposal, don't run the dishwasher or anything like that, because it's septic system's full. And so I just finished eating up, and someone in the galley had run the garbage disposal, and our septic system had actually backfilled throughout the whole boat. And so I finished eating, I just dumped my tray, and I'm still in the crew mess, and I started smelling this kind of funk in the air. And I'm kind of wondering what it is, and I walk out of the crew mess, and I come around the corner down the main passageway, and all of a sudden that smell just hit me like a ton of bricks, just human feces and urine. And I run up the stairs out onto the deck, and I start yakking up my lunch over the side of the boat. And so we had to clean that up. And
how much are we talking?
It was, when I came around the corner, there was probably 2 or 3 inches of waste, crap and urine and everything else. So yeah, it was 2-3 inches, and it was over the whole boat.
How big is this boat? How big is the boat?
It was a decent size. It was what I was assigned to. It was a barge with a big huge crane on it.
Yeah.
So it was a decent size. Probably, I'm trying to remember. It was 150 feet long or something like that.
Okay.
It was pretty good size.
We know that commercial aircraft tend to dump their waste when they get up to 30-some thousand feet. Half the time it doesn't hit the ground. Sometimes it does. But
sometimes it does.
Yeah. And then we know the RV lifestyle. You go to a place, they take a hose, they'll suck it out for you if you don't have a way of doing it on your own. I just assumed that on a boat that you got far enough out there.
Yeah, I mean, you just dump it.
And you guys just dumped it. Is that not what happens?
So we were still in port, tied up to the pier.
All right.
Okay, that changes things.
So we couldn't just because normally if we were out, if you're out a certain distance, you can just discharge it over the side and it's all good or whatever.
Don't you end up with a massive trail of fish behind? I'm saying just pictures the boats that dump all the crap out, and the fish that enjoy that kind of thing. There's just this entire school of fish. It's yummy time.
Right? Yeah, you'd think. But yeah, it was disgusting, man. So like I said, I came around the corner and went up, yacked up my lunch and everything. And that morning we'd actually done our physical fitness training. We were doing it with gas mask on, and I happened to have my gas mask in my stateroom. So after I got done puking up my lunch, I ran downstairs and I held my breath and everything. Ran down to my stateroom, grabbed my gas mask on, threw it on. And, and then proceed to kind of clean up the mess. It was disgusting. We had to basically just shot back everything up and mop buckets.
Could you identify some of the things that were on the floor?
Like an apple.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Corn. I mean, whatever.
Oh, yeah. I was in one of the bathrooms cleaning it up, and I could see corn floating around. And, you guys see, the Austin Powers movies with that bastard, and he's I didn't have any. I don't remember having any corn. I actually made that joke in the bathroom. I was like, "Crikey, I don't remember having any corn."
Why does that make it worse? You know what I mean? Like, it's already poop. Poop is bad enough, but you see food in it. Food generally makes me happy. But when you put them together, it's just like, oh, no.
I'm assuming you go in there with a hose and you can just hose it all out and it'll drain off the side of the boat. Is that the idea?
He's gone. But,
Okay.
yeah, well, he said a shop vac, so you can only suck up so much. But, yeah, I mean, I'm hosing it
Either
up.
way, I'm like, Captain, pull out of this harbor right now.
We'll make this easier.
Let's get, a mile offshore and just hose this bad boy down and dump this thing.
And the thing is, even though you've cleaned it, the stink is still there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, it looks clean, but every time I walk down this hallway, it's like I feel like I'm walking through someone's anus.
What do you hope to never have to clean up again? 206-421-ROCK.
Well, great balls of fire, Bubba. What happened, Buford? That crazy son of a Sal blew right through that four-way stop on Main Street and plowed into my cowboy Cadillac.
Your what?
My pickup truck. And I'm pretty sure my leg is broken, Ted.
Oh, quit your bitching, Buford, and talk with those side busters at the Advocates Law Firm. When I got busted up last month, well, shoot, they made sure those snakes at the insurance company played fair.
Boy, howdy. Even that creepy so-and-so Kyle earned his keep.
So if you get injured, the advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
The men's room is in progress. 99.9 KISW and KISW HD1 Seattle.
Mentioned the semi in Michigan that spilled and it had all the human fecal matter in it. And then a truck slid into that.
Hydroplaned on poop and smashed into
it. And then there was wrecks. One of the guys died. It was an ugly wreck, right? Either way, I think
that is the worst way to go. You do not want that in your obituary, man.
This, I think this would be a harder cleanup. We go to Indianapolis as crews all day were cleaning up a mess Sunday after a semi-truck carrying honey overturned on an Indianapolis highway ramp. It happened at 8 a.m. The driver was not injured. But as far as cleaning up stuff that is spilled all over a road.
Don't care.
I think honey would be the worst. I think it'd be one of the worst things I have to try to clean up.
I know, but I love honey.
Here's the difference. I know what you're saying. It's more viscous and all this. But again, we get two calls from dispatch. One is the poop truck overturned, which I can hose it up, or whatever. Or the honey, which, man, we're going to be there a while. It's so sticky. It's a pain. I'm going to the honey spill.
Listen.
That's just me.
I'm going to clean up the honey.
Okay, every once in a while, you get a sore throat or whatever, right? So you maybe get some tea and you put some honey in it.
Yeah.
Now, that tea is piping hot.
Sure.
You've warmed that water, to a point where you can barely drink it. It's still tough to dissolve the honey
man.
in that water. Like, it's still tough to break that stuff down.
I was doing that last week. Remember, I blew up my throat early in the week last week, right? After screaming at the Ravens' demise against the Chiefs. So for 2 days, I can barely talk, and so I'm doing the honey thing. First, I realized that the honey is delicious, all right? But we keep it in this little cabinet, and I heat up my water. I got lemon in it, and I go to grab this honey jar, and it's as though the jar of honey weighed 800 pounds. Because when I go to grab it, it does not come with my hand. You follow me? Like you, and I realized some honey somehow has leaked out and got on the bottom of it.
So it's stuck to the bottom of the cabinet.
When I pull this thing off the cabinet, it's like, and true to your point, my thought is, I have to clean this up. And you're right. It took forever to clean it up to the point it wasn't sticky anymore. But given the choice, if it said, well, it could just be sitting on a turd, which is my teacher, I'll take the honey 100% of the time.
What do you hope to never have to clean up again? 206-421-ROCK.
And honey doesn't smell bad. You're not gagging.
Yeah,
no, that's true.
It'd be impossible to get off, but I'd like to cover my body in honey.
You should not do that because you are hairy.
Yeah, that
I
would
don't
be
recommend
gross.
anyone should, but you, by the time they get the honey off of you, you would in fact be the naked tizzle. There would not be a hair left on your body.
I think after what we did last week, whipped cream would probably be the better call. It wasn't that hard to, I don't know. Looking at
no.
But it's not about being covered in anything. I mean, it's about being covered in honey specifically. Look, I'm a little hungry. All I can think about is honey now. Buckets of it.
Did you not drink your energy drink yet?
I did.
Okay.
You finally opened that.
You drank it?
yeah.
All right, okay.
Is it cold?
We're getting there.
Should be.
What do you think of the Ultra Red?
I feel red.
It is delicious.
It's delicious.
What do you hope to never have to clean up again? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Christopher. Welcome to the men's room.
Skinless bangers.
Hola.
Mommy,
Can I get the bangers with no skin on me, bangers?
Christopher.
You don't know where to take a banger.
Christopher, did you bring the bangers?
Don't call if you didn't bring the skinless bangers.
Oh, no.
Raw dog banger.
Yeah.
Christopher, this one has skin on it.
I got the skin on me,
Hey,
bangers.
you guys think I'm kidding? I'm going to have sausage for breakfast one of these days.
Hell yeah.
Very soon, probably over the weekend.
You're a wild man.
I know.
Sausage for breakfast.
But I never, well,
They even have a thing called breakfast sausage.
I go bacon. I'm a bacon guy. Most
Have
of
you
the
had
time
a
I'm a bacon
skinless
guy.
banger?
I like bacon, but now
like
I'm thinking
bacon
about
too,
skinless
but-
bangers.
Take it out of the tube.
Yeah. What do you hope to never have to clean up again?
Well, it was my own mess. I guess to preface the story, previously my wife and I had been discussing, we're both kind of germaphobes, and so if they, when you go to drop a hairy one or whatever, if they don't have little sheets to put over the toilet seat, I'll always pull off some toilet paper, kind of line the seat before I sit down. She said, why don't you just hover? I'm like, oh, I don't, because in your squatting, I like to be comfortable, yada, yada. Anyways, so fast forward a couple days, wife and daughter and I were all sitting at Quiznos, and I feel something coming on. I'm like, okay, time to run to the bathroom. Get in there. There's none of the sheet covers, and I'm like, it's coming out now. I got to go. Like, well, I could try the hover thing, like she said. So I pull my pants down, go to sit, hover. I'm like, okay, this might work. And then, bam, just projectile. Not one bit of it made it in the toilet.
Oh, no.
The wall,
You're the guy.
It was,
Never hover.
Yeah.
Look, man.
Never.
Never. It must be for people with normal buttholes.
No. It's a skill set. Women have this ability to hover, and my understanding is because women's bathrooms are so disgusting. When Robin was here, she would tell us that, just even among coworkers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now, but she's like, man, I don't know which one of our coworkers is responsible for some of the damage that she would report there, but she's like, I would hover. And most women I know, like, they have the ability to hover, I think, just from years of practice, or if they have to pee outside, right? But for guys, like, I've tried to hover once, and I almost pooped back directly into my own pants. And I was like, never again. Like, it got close, man. Never again.
No, this was the worst. I mean, like, it hit the walls next to me. I don't know how none didn't land back on me, but I'm just sitting there for a split second. I'm like, I should just maybe run for it, But then Castle, when he was screaming the calls,
You might be the guy responsible for the reason there's no Quiznos in the area anymore.
That was it. That was the final straw.
Yeah.
It's
We're so sad.
We were just talking about that the other day.
Well, you can't find a Quiznos.
No.
Then Christopher calls and he tells us he's responsible. My question is this: how long do you wait to tell your wife that this happened? Do you walk out of the bathroom, act like everything's cool, or do you walk out of the bathroom and say, we need to leave?
Exactly. So first I had to clean it all up, and it was not easy. It's, it's just smearing it with the dry toilet paper there. I mean, it was trying to get it cleaned up. It took a minute, and by the time I was done, I was so just disgusted. I came walking out, and she just looks at me and goes, you were in there for a long time, so we have to go. Let's go now.
Then she
I was going to say, can we get the sandwich to go, or did you sit there and eat it? Because you're probably one of only 5 customers in there sitting down eating.
Right.
Most of it's to go, so they had to know it was you.
Oh, yeah, no. So I cleaned it up as best I could. Like, I think I did a good job. It was cleaner than when I got in there. So
Okay, all right.
But that's why you leave in a hurry, because they know it was you. Like, if they did, it's like I go say, a fart on the airplane, I don't care. I'm one of 250 possible people, and everyone's looking at each other meanwhile. I know it was me. Perhaps my wife knows it was me, but no one else knows it was me. They might suspect it's me, but they don't know, because there's a lot of culprits. Quiznos, like you said, you're one of 4 or 5 people in there. You're the only one that has been in the bathroom. You've been in there an awfully long time. They're going to piece it together. That's what I'm like, we need to go. We need to go. It's like if the cops walked up to me and I have, 8 kilos of cocaine on me and say, can we talk to you for a minute? No, you cannot, because I'm going to run. If I don't have anything on me, well, sure. It's the same general principle.
What do you hope to never have to clean up again? 206-421-ROB.
And I don't know. That is just a dad move.
What's that?
We got to go.
Yeah.
It is. Because we're not built for that kind of confrontation, right? You can stare at me across the bar, we can rip off our shirts, get in a fight out in the parking lot, but it's like, hey man, I made a poop mess. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with the looks. I don't want to deal with the repercussions. I don't want to deal with the embarrassment. Let's go. But the thing is, it's understood. I don't even know why they say stupid things. Years and years and years ago, I'm like 10 years old maybe, and we're at some park in Rochester. I don't remember why, but it's like this big event. And they have the public bathrooms. I'm in there taking a dump, and it's kid named Eric, who's a friend of mine. He's in the other stall, right? And we're not really talking. And then I just hear him say, hey, Steven. I say, yeah, man. He's like, can you get my mom? I'm like, get your mom for what? Because we're in the men's bathroom. I'm like, Get your mom for what, man? And he's like, I had an accident. I'm like, you pooped yourself. Like, just say it. I know what it is. There's no code word for this. You're sitting in a stall and things didn't work out the way you thought it would. And the last thing, and I did get his mom, and I just remember the last thing I saw. So, the stall walls never come all the way down.
Yeah.
You get like 6 inches of clearance. But I remember as he's in there patiently waiting, you hear his pants drop all the way down. So the buckle hits. I glance over, and his tighty whities are sitting on top of his pants. It was more than an accident. It was more, but it's like,
man,
don't call it an accident, bro. I know you didn't do it on purpose, but just say, I pooped myself.
There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than having to go number 2 at like a state park or a national park.
Nobody wants to.
Depending on where you are and what you're doing. Though I can't remember the hike I did, but there was a outdoor facility on the trail or at the bottom near the parking lot, whatever the deal is. Getting down in the parking lot, I've got to go. I've been holding this thing for a while. Get to the bottom, go in the bathroom. First of all, when you open that door, the smell of that bathroom is like nothing else.
Smell it.
I mean, Honey Bucket, that would have been luxurious. You know what I mean? Luxurious at that point in time. And then you lift the lid, because they always tell you to lift the lid or keep the lid down to keep the stink out when you're done. I lift the lid. I know this is going to take a little bit of time. And underneath the lid, at least 50 mosquitoes are just underneath. Oh. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
But I don't have a choice here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to put my bare ass down. This is going to take a little time.
Are you getting torn up by mosquitoes?
Oh, my God. And the smell, you don't realize what a gift water in your toilet is to you.
Until you don't have water.
Until human fecal matter is not submerged in it to break some of the odor. It's like when you find one dropped at a bus stop. You're like, oh, God, that stinks. This was awful.
The sad news on that is you can count on finding one at a bus stop.
Oh, especially downtown now. There's so much fecal matter downtown. Like, we have to avoid this one pile by the library almost every time we walk by it because it still hasn't gone anywhere.
No one, look, I know the library's been closed, but even if it's not closed, I promise you the maintenance guy's like, it's outside of the library. I'm not messing with that. I have seen 2 massive piles of human fecal matter in Seattle where they have been there a long time. So one is outside of the library, and we always walk around it. We're aware of it. No one's trying to clean it. Maybe the rain will wash it away. It is, and I'm pretty sure I know the guy that does it because there's a one dude that sleeps up in the. I'm telling you, it's his. But there was another one down by the Amazon building. The new, pristine Amazon building. Everything's so new. Somebody backed their ass up in the alley, and they let it fly. And it was next to a dumpster. It was there for about 2 weeks. They never cleaned it up, but what they did do was move the dumpster in front of it.
All right. I mean,
it helped because every time you went there, you don't want to stare at it, but you can't help but stare at this mountain.
I drive from basically Denny all the way down 5th.
Yeah.
Every day. And there's maybe 4 businesses that are open. Top Hot Donuts being one of them. Bartell's open. That's really about it. So you understand the predicament. I mean, even when all the places were open, they did allow regular people who weren't customers come in and use the bathroom, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, but there's still alleys, man. I mean, alleys are designed for several things, and if you have to poop,
that's what I'm saying.
Do it there and not on these sidewalks.
So there really is. There's really not a lot of bathrooms downtown. I mean, I get the plight of people not being able to find a place to use the bathroom who don't have homes who live downtown.
But you can be subtle.
There's nowhere to go.
You can poop in a trash can. You can poop in the grass. Not directly on the sidewalk.
Right, but with everything, like with the pandemic and everything closed, there's just not people, too.
Yeah.
So if you're already, say, living on the street, now you have no qualms about pooping on the sidewalk.
And I will say this.
They really do not.
I will say this. Yeah. The concrete wall that surrounds this side of the library is the perfect squat height.
It is. No one would know
to
what
be able to sit down. If you just sat down like that, no one would know. Depending on how
I'll give you $10 to walk up to the library. Because right now, what we're seeing is on the outside, but he's right. There is this cement barrier where if you wanted to be more subtle, no one would know.
No.
I'm going to tell you there are
I have not pooped outside in a long time.
That's good.
Thank God, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I really tried that.
If you're at a festival, they've got porta potties and stuff. So
correct.
Yeah.
Because they don't want you pooping outside.
I was pooping once during a very loud set. I'm trying to remember with bass nectar.
Okay.
And the whole porta potty's just rattling, right? I mean, it's too much bass.
Right.
Next time, more nectar. And then just the worst thing in the world. It's out of toilet paper.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I kind of waddled my way back to my RV, used some toilet paper, and then I come out of the RV with a brown bag. And my buddy is at camp, and he comes around the corner, and I just look at him and go, "Where's the trash can?" And he goes, he doesn't say a word. He goes, "Follow me."
Okay. He understood.
Like,
Did you jump in the river after that or anything?
No, because I had the RV, so I had access to water. But it was just funny. He just goes, "I don't want to know. I just knew I had to find the trash can for you." I was like, "Yeah, right." Cause just that tone of voice, like, and it's just weird that I'm holding a sandwich bag. Where's the dumpster?
Please. These are my underwear. What do you hope to never have to clean up again? 206-421-ROCK.
Did you hear that, ladies?
With a good pair of Under Armours or something?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, that
But
sucks.
it did, right? And God, it was just hellish. I mean, it's already weird that you're in a porta potty that is rattling.
Right.
Right? It's, it's 10:30 at night.
You know what, man? You know what we
This is
need
not
to
a
do
pleasant place
as
to poop.
men? And we don't do this. Now, we have ratty pairs of underwear, but we only wear them because we need to do laundry, right?
We should buy craft underwear for those types
because,
of things.
and look, my wife will do it. Like every woman I know, it's like once they have their period, like, and not because it's explosive or anything, but it's just they go like, "Hey, man, that time of the month, I wear these underwear. I don't wear the ones I really like."
Yeah.
And it makes sense. You go, I get it. I don't paint the house wearing a suit. You know what I mean? You wear the
It's
shirt.
very hard to prepare, though, for pooping yourself and not having
But what
toilet
I'm
paper.
saying, because you're right, it's not something predictable, but I would say if you're going to a festival, if we went to the Gorge, right, like, look, if something is going to go wrong as far as that goes, it's going to be here.
I would almost even say go sans underwear for those 2 days.
No.
You know what I mean?
Because, man, but all right, something goes wrong and now it's just your pants. Well, now it's like, Miles, dude,
You can also
tie your
bring an extra
shirt
pair of
around your
pants.
pants.
Right, yeah.
Because we can tell what happened.
But also, a lot of times it's hot. So I
know.
like the security of the boxer brief.
Right, the security.
What do you hope to never have to clean up again? 206-421-ROCK.
First world problems.
Right.
Hello, Kelly. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
How's it going today?
Doing well, sir. How are you, Kelly?
I am fantastic. So my brother and I were playing basketball at the old high school gym, or the old high school outside. And we were trying to burn some time because the next day we were supposed to go to Hawaii for about 3 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah. And, 1980, it was, summer of whatever, But anyways, we're walking along and out jumps this rabbit. He's like 65 yards away or something like that, a long ways away. And I picked up this fairly good-sized rock, and my brother goes, "No way, dude." And I threw that rock as far as I could. And that rock landed right behind that rabbit's head and killed it dead in a doornail.
Oh, Jesus, man.
And so we walked up to it and kicked it a couple times, and it wasn't moving, So we go, "Well, what do we do with it?" Well, we had our duffel bag with us, so we put it in the duffel bag and went home. And, we got home and got all excited because it was time to get packed and everything. So I kicked the bag under the bed, and we proceeded to get packed. And the next morning, we left for Hawaii for 3 weeks, like I said.
Oh, no.
And, we were actually there for 2 weeks and extended for a third week, and it was really awesome. But, we get home, it's about 2:45 in the morning, and we opened the front door, and it was like and this smell came out of the house that you would not believe. And like going, my mom's going, "Oh," and then I used to work in a rendering plant. I worked at a rendering plant at that time, but the smell was just almost as bad, if not worse, than the rendering plant. And
did you know right away what the culprit was? Did you remember what you had done?
No, we forgot all about it. and we slept downstairs, which is where the rabbit was, And so we went downstairs and opened the door and all the windows and had a fitful night of sleep, because this smell was down there. And the next morning, about 6:30, my brother shakes me and he goes, "Kelly." I said, "What?" He goes, "It's the rabbit." It's like, "Oh no." We took that rabbit, and the bag was kind of like stuck to the floor. It was kind of nasty,
Yeah.
And we pulled it out, took it outside, and the thing was just crawling. The skin was just crawling with it, and the bag was just deader than a doornail. But it took us about 2 weeks to get that smell out of the house.
I bet.
And the carpet, we just had to cover the odor. We couldn't clean it out. It wouldn't clean.
Did your parents ever find out that you were responsible for this?
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, we admitted to them what it was, and they actually had kind of a laugh about it, But I'm sure that somewhere it actually led to their early demise or something. Maybe, I don't know, but it was really bad.
I'm going to assume in your adult life that you don't just whisk off to Hawaii anymore for 3 weeks. That's a thing of the past.
I wish. I haven't been to Hawaii since, and I'd love to go, but, that's just the way that it goes.
Yeah, when you're a kid, you don't realize what's going on.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, 3 weeks in Hawaii? That sounds amazing. When you're a kid, you're like, yeah, we're going on vacation.
Yeah, but kids now, if you say, hey, man, we're going to spend 3 weeks in Hawaii.
3 weeks. Yeah, it's been 3 weeks. Yeah.
Right, as an adult, you're like, I would kill to have 3 weeks.
3 weeks off in a row?
Anywhere.
And then you're in Hawaii?
That's what I hate. Well, I can't say I hate this about people from Europe. But I hate this about people from Europe, right? So, like I said, I took the cruise last year, right? And they're like, where are you coming from? Well, actually, we flew from Seattle, but we hopped on here in Barcelona. We're going to see the places. Where are you coming from?
Well, we also came on from Barcelona. Do you know when we picked you? That was our 4th time.
I'm like, that's your 4th cruise? Like,
no, it's the same cruise. We're here for 6 weeks.
Yeah, then we're going to South
like
America.
6 weeks?
Yeah, man.
You're off and it's not a thing. You're not retired.
You go on holiday.
Yeah. What do you hope to never have to clean up again? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Ronnie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola!
What's happening, Ronnie?
So, R.I.P. Eddie V.
Yeah, ma'am.
Oh, man. And I got to give, a little bit of credit to the man that, sprayed the bathroom up a little bit.
Well, he cleaned it up.
I think he might have been responsible of stenciling my bathroom at my bar.
Okay.
Anyway, but I got a really clean, non-stinky story.
Excellent.
So I went to there was a yard sale at some neighbor's house, and they had a 5-gallon bucket of marbles. Nice little round glass marbles. And I put them on my porch right next to my apples that I was making cider out of. And a deer decided to get up into the apples and knocked my 5-gallon bucket of marbles all over my dick.
How long does it take to clean up 5 gallons of marbles?
You cannot sweep marbles. You cannot vacuum marbles.
What can you do with them, Ronnie?
So me and my nephew sat out on my porch and had to pick up several thousand marbles.
What did you buy these marbles for? I'm just curious.
Well, I actually have a big fish tank. I have a 200-gallon fish tank.
Okay. All right.
I use them for that.
Okay.
That makes sense. All right.
Do you still have the marbles, Ronnie?
I think they're sitting in his fish tank now.
Okay.
Did we just get a telegram? Stop. You cannot sweep marbles.
Stop.
You cannot do marbles.
Stop.
Return of Ted versus the FCC coming up. You are listening to the men's room.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.